This is Hala, an Elite Four member in Pokemon Sun and Moon, but he's also now a symbol against the establishment. Allow me to give you some background context. So if you are on Twitter in any capacity, enjoy Pokemon, and follow Pokemon themed accounts, there's a good chance you've seen posts from meme pages or gimmick accounts similar to these. Be honest, you cried during this scene. Can we all admit that insert Pokemon game here were the best Pokemon games?
No.
Real Pokemon fans know what goes down in this house in Undella Town. Why did everyone have the same team in Pokemon Platinum? Now these memes appear basic enough, but in reality they are extremely clever. By directly addressing or including the reader in a broad enough statement, they can very easily provoke a reaction out of said reader. For example, that last post. I mean, speak for yourselves guys, but catching half of your team in the first area? Talk about boring. Also, there's no way Pokemon fans are on average smart enough to find the Gibble Cave without any outside knowledge. I was storming Spear Pillar with a Vespiquen in hand. A guy doesn't just stumble across a female Combee and not use it. Now, what are the 3 different ways of responding to something on Twitter? Liking, to show agreement, retweeting, to show bigger agreement, and replying / quote tweeting, a method of expressing agreement or disagreement, like I just did in that last segment. Therefore, we can summarize that memes using this direct address are more likely to make you engage with them than all of the other ones. This whole process is what is known as engagement farming, and it's become a massive problem. See, when Mr. Musk took over Twitter, or X, but I'm not calling it that, he unveiled Twitter Blue. You give the richest man on the entire planet your well-earned money, and in exchange, you get a fancy check mark, a boost to your tweets' reach so more people can see them, and the ability to make money off of tweeting. The more people see your tweet, the more money you earn. And what's the best way of getting your tweet to more people? By having likes, retweets, replies, and quote tweets to boost you in the algorithm. You can probably tell where I'm going with this. Every single day on Twitter, these basic, lowest common denominator memes are churned out by big Pokemon accounts solely for monetary gain. It's always like the same 5 posts as well. I guess the people that run these accounts aren't very creative. Anyway, Twitter Blue had created a new age of slop content. This was no longer engagement farming. This was engagement agriculture, and something needed to be done about it. Pokemon Twitter had decided that enough was enough. On the 17th of July 2024, a rebellion against the slop ignited in the weirdest way possible. People began ironically posting these memes, but with this official art of Pokemon character Hala replacing key components or images. Posts sometimes include Hala's famous catchphrase, "Just a Kahuna on a stroll to the laguna." It started with only a few accounts, but as the days passed, others got wind of what was happening, and more people got in on the act. Things kept escalating until it reached a point where it felt like everyone on Pokemon Twitter's feed was just full with Hala posting. People began changing their profile pictures, and some brave soldiers charged straight into the front lines.
Which Pokemon professor is your favorite?
Professor Hala.
Pokemon Twitter had managed to flush out the engagement farmers and put the Island Kahuna in their place. People who had little to no interest in Pokemon began seeing the mustache fellow on their feed. He even began trending on Twitter at one point, but I don't have any screenshots of that, so you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. Either way, Pokemon Twitter had entered a new era, and Hala was its ruler. But why him? It might have just been that the ringleaders chose him at random, or that because he's a pretty silly guy, but for me, it runs a little deeper than that. See, if you know anything about the character of Hala, you'll understand that he's all about the simple things in life. Untroubled, wise, and traditional, he's often portrayed as a mature figure that people can turn to for advice. Therefore, it can be argued that Hala is the polar opposite of this Twitter blue, engagement farming, terminally online culture. He's down to earth, grounded, and not constantly seeking instant gratification. Okay, maybe I'm looking too deep into things, but anyway, that's how Hala became a symbol of defiance. How long do you think the Hala era will last? And if you don't feel like going outside to take a walk, why not consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video? Thank you to my channel members, and I'll see you in the next video.